Hey yo folks, welcome to the channel. Today we're looking at the LEGO Minecraft set number 21244, the Sword Outpost. This set released in 2023, retailing for $45 US, containing 427 pieces with 6 cool figures. This is a really simple yet cool Minecraft build, so let's get straight into it. The set does consist of one big build, which does have some really cool detailing and some cool play features. If you look at the side, there's not a whole lot going on. You got this little water bed, and as you can see, there's some gold ore right here, which is pretty cool for some crafting and collecting and all that. In the back, there's not really much to go on about. It's just really flat. There's just a dull background. You could set a figure right in here if you want, which we'll look at that part much later. Same with the side, there's not a whole lot going on. I gotta make sure my camera's right, but yeah, there's not a whole lot going on within this set on the sides, but the front does show a lot. I'm not sure if these are meant to be buttons or whatever, but on the front you can see they got these, I'm pretty sure these are meant to be dispensers, which, as you can see, they got flick fire missiles, which go like, well, I gotta try harder than that. There we go. And it does come with an extra flick fire missile, so that is a welcome inclusion. You also got this, I believe these are lilacs, I could be wrong, but it's nice to get some more flowers. We'll get to this part later, but let's look at the sword part of the set, which is probably the main part of the set. That's why it's called the Sword Outpost, which, this is a really cool sword build. I do wish that there was more detail on the back, as well as you could be able to pull the thing out. It just stays there. I mean, don't get me wrong, you could still hold it like so. Well, that just spoiled our feature, but we'll get back to it. But as I was saying, you could hold it, which I do wish you could be able to separate it, so that way you got your own LEGO Minecraft sword. And I do also kind of wish that we would be able to customize it, so that way instead of having a diamond sword, you could probably have a netherite or an iron sword, but otherwise, it's really nice. As you also got this little waterfall here, which is really nice to get these in dark trans blue, which, before we get to the other play feature, let's take a closer look at this little area right here, which is a real good point of interest. As you can see, it's a really small area that's lit by lanterns. You got one on the right and one on the left. You also got this cookie right here in case you want to give it to one of the minifigures and whatnot, and as well as, I think this is the first time we get a music disc in a set along with a jukebox right here. I believe this is meant to be cat. I do hope we get more music discs and more jukeboxes within the set and whatnot. You also got this little furnace here, which has a print on the front and the back to show it's cooking and it's not cooking. I remember when this first started out with using the 1x1 studs at the bottom, like right here, it would be the orange and red, the orange and yellow. I'm glad they resorted to print, because I know getting these on is a trouble, especially with the, it's especially a trouble when you do it with the ore, so it's a good thing we don't have to do that anymore. But now let's get on to the other play feature of the set. As you can see with this tower right here, it's got a little function. You see this piece right here? You just need let's bring the creeper here, and you could just go and it does its little action, and then just boom! Well, that was actually anticlimactic. Actually, something I forgot to mention is that you got some studs on top here in case you want to have one of your figures keep guard to avoid creepers, which, speaking of creeper, let's try this again. Boom! Now that's more like it. You see the figure fell back. The creeper helps make this little tower build explode, which is a pretty clever technique. But yeah, this is a pretty solid build for what it is. I mean, it's nothing too special. I do kind of wish they did more with it, especially considering the $45 price point, but it gets the job done, and it's a nice build. But you know what else is nice? The minifigures. And let's take a good look at those. For our first minifigure of the set, we have the Guardian Warrior, which does have a bit of minimalist printing, but does have some nice printing nonetheless, and especially some printing on the back. I like the diamond belt sort of thing, I guess that's what they're going for. You also got the diamond helmet and the diamond leggings and boots, even though it's just leggings because they don't do boot printings. And you also got the diamond sword for an accessory, which is really nice. It's nice to get some more diamond armor for army building or whatever with Minecraft. And if you take off the helmet, they got a simple white haired head piece, which is really nice. It's nice to get more variety aside from Steve and Alex. And that's one thing I'm liking with more the modern Minecraft sets. That's where it's more unique original characters rather than just Steve and Alex, which the head is pretty simple and so is the printing, which overall it's a really nice figure, though I kind of like the next minifigure much more. But still, this is a really good figure nonetheless. Next minifigure, we have the Sentinel Soldier, who does have some really minimal yet really well done printing on the front and then the back, as you can see. As you can see, they got 2 different skin tones due to vitiligo, which is a really nice inclusion to get some more unique and inclusive minifigures, especially in the Minecraft series. I do believe this is the 3rd figure with vitiligo, the first one being in the foosball table and the other one being in a friend's set, which is really nice. And for the weapon accessory, you got the Enchanted Trident, which I don't know if this is exclusive to this set so far, or if this has been featured in another set, Enchanted, which it's really nice to get an Enchanted Trident in this set, which I really like to get more unique Minecraft pieces and weapons and all that, which basically this is a really cool minifigure. The next minifigure is also really cool, so let's get right into it. The last of our exclusive figures of the set, we have the Allay, which is a really simple and cute minifigure build. Well, not minifigure, just figure build, if you will, which does have an uncommon blue shade to it. There's not a whole lot of exclusive aside from the headpiece, which is an uncommon piece. It looks like a normal head, but it attaches by this piece. It isn't attached by normal studs. And as well as this plastic sort of cape, this light plastic sort of cape, I'm not sure what you'd call it, to be used as the wings. As you can see, they're holding an apple to have the following the players and such, which is really cute. They're standing on a transparent cylinder and tile piece, as you can see, to give them the illusion of floating around and such, which this is a really cute figure. I could see them reusing this type of build for the Vex if they ever do it, but instead of the apple, it'd of course be the sword. And I do imagine we'll probably get this figure again, maybe the same thing or more simplified in another set, because whether it be like another random set or perhaps a pillager outpost, because in-game there are sometimes some pillager outposts with some cages, which would have either an iron golem or a bunch of little allays, which would make sense, especially since we're rumored to get a pillager outpost at some point in the future, which either way, this is a really nice inclusion. I do hope we get more of these, or even the Vex in the future. Anyways, let's move on to the next figures, which are not really exclusive from here on. Our next minifigure of the set is this skeleton, which there's not a whole lot unique about them aside from their iron helmet, which protects them from the sunlight and keeps them from burning. They of course got their bow and arrow to shoot the players, which is nice to get more of these, same with the helmet. And of course it's a regular skeleton body with a Minecraft skeleton head, which here's what it looks like without the helmet. You could have them without the helmet, of course, but that won't protect them from the sunlight, obviously, but still. You could either have them with the helmet or without it. So let's just put it back and move on to the next figure. For our penultimate figure, we've got the Creeper, which is nothing really special. We've gotten a lot of this Creeper before. It's very rare to get some unique Creepers, even though in a few times we've gotten a Charge Creeper, as well as an Exploding Creeper, as well as an Enchanted Creeper at one point, which it's nice to get this Creeper. It's, even if it's simple and common, does consist of the body, 2 pieces at the side, and the head, which of course has its iconic Creeper printing. I do hope at some point in the future we get a Creeper with all its legs standing still rather than a walking motion like it is, but either way, it's a nice inclusion, and let's look at the final figure of the set. Lastly, we have the Pig, which, like the past few minifigures, there's nothing exclusive or unique with figure. You of course got it being a brick build figure with a molded head with printing on top to resemble the pig's face, which is nice to get more pigs for the Minecraft world and such, even if there's nothing exclusive per se. Although I do find it amusing how Brickset doesn't register this as a minifigure. Well, of course it's not a figure, but it registers the Allay and the Creeper as figures, but not the pig, even though the pig is a unique buildable figure. Still, even though there's nothing unique about the pig, like it doesn't have a saddle or anything, or it's not one of the newer pigs, it's nice to get another pig in the Minecraft world. But anyways, let's take a final look at the set right now. Before I close today's video, I'd like to share a few words, which I do think this is a really nice set, but would I recommend it? Yeah, I would, but for the price of $45, not really. If you are able to get it for a much cheaper price, which I will say as of the moment it's retiring in most places, but if you are able to get it, I would get it for a much cheaper price. I feel like if you wanted the price to be a bit more justified, maybe the build could have had a little bit more, like, there could have been more going on in the back, or there could have been more play features and whatnot, but either way, aside from that, this is a really nice set and a really nice addition. I do feel like I said, there could have been more, like, you could have had an extra ally, or perhaps another player or whatever, but still, this is a really nice set, and if you are able to get it for much cheaper than $45, then yes, I recommend it. Anyways, that'll be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment if it helps, and I'll see you in the next video. But real quick, I just want to say thank you so much for 10 subscribers. I really appreciate the milestone. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but I greatly appreciate the milestone, and I'm sure we'll get to 50 subscribers and such in no time, and thank you guys so much. Anyways, that'll be all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one!